Good evening, everyone. My name is Ezenwane Chugu Anita, and I'm here to talk on the book titled As a Man Thinketh. So we'll start with thoughts and character. The book of Proverbs proclaims, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Each of us is usually what we think our character, being the complete sum of our thoughts. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous as to those that are deliberately executed. Action is the blossom of thought and joy, and suffering is its fruit. Thus do we thus do we gain in the sweet and bitter harvest of our own planting. Human growth is natural phenomenon and not a creation by artifice. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continuous effort and right thinking, the effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts. We are made or unmade by ourselves. By our own thoughts, we forge the weapon by which we can destroy ourselves. By the right choice and the true application of thoughts, we ascend to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thoughts, we descend below the level of the beasts. We are our own maker and master. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the Lord of our own thoughts, each of us holds the key to every situation and contains within ourselves that transforming and regenerative agency by which we may make our own self what we will. Each of us is always our own master, even in our weakest and most abandoned states. However, in a state of weakness and degradation, we may become foolish master and misgovern the household. Only by such searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and we can find every truth connected with our being if we dig deep into the mind of our soul, and that we are the maker of our own character, the molder of our own life, and the builder of our own destiny. In this direction, as in the no other, is the law absolute that we will find what we seek, for only by patience, practice, and im- caseless importance. In this way, can we enter the door of the temple of knowledge. Next, effect of thoughts on circumstances. The human mind may be likened to a garden which may be intelligently captivated or allowed to run wild. It must and will bring forth if no useful seed are put into it, then an abundance of useless seed will fall, accumulate, and will produce their own kind. By pursuing this process, we sooner or later discover that we are the master garden of our own soul, the director of our life. This lesson also reveals within ourselves the laws of thought that enables us to understand with ever increasing accuracy how the thought force and the mind elements operate in the shaping of our own character, circumstances, and destiny. Thought and character are one, and as character can manifest and discover itself through environment and circumstances, the outer condition of our life will always be found to be homologous related to our inner state. Each of us is where we are by the law of our being. The thoughts which we have built in our character have built in us. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall into the mind to take root, they are produce its own. blossoming sooner or later into action and bearing its own harvest of opportunity and circumstances. Good thoughts bear good fruits, while bad thoughts bear bad fruits. One does not come to drunkenness or crime by their own fates or circumstances, but by pathway of growing thoughts and base desires. Therefore, as the Lord and Master of thoughts, we are the maker of ourselves, the shaper and the author of our environment. We do not attract what which we want, but that which we are. The divinity that shapes our end is in our very self. We cease to kick against circumstances, but begin to use them as aids to more rapid progress, as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibility within ourselves. The proof of this truth is in every person, and it therefore admits of easy investigation by systematic interception and self-analysis. Lazy thought crystallizes into habits of unseemliness and dishonest, which solidify into circumstances of force, of foolishness and beggary. You will be what you want to be. Let failure find its false content in that poor world environment. By spirits scorn it and is free. It master time. It conquers space. The human will, the first unseen of offspring of the deathless soul, can heal a way to any goal through walls of granite intervene. Be not impatient in the lane, but wait as one who understands when spirit rises and commands. The gods are ready to obey. Next, we'll be talking about effects. We will be talking about mind and body. Purpose. The body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operation of the mind. For weakness, whether they deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. The people who live in fear of disease are the people who legitimate purpose in our hearts. Pure and happy thoughts build up the body in vigor and grace. Self-control. People will continue to have impure and poisoned blood, the weakness, so long as they project unclean thoughts. Living the truth that strength can of a clean heart comes a clean life and a clean body. Thoughts of the living at once proceed in defiled life and a corrupt body. Change of diet. Thoughts of doubt and fear never accomplish anything and never can. When thoughts are they lead to failure. Impure food is no longer desired. When we have clean thoughts, makes clean habits. Thoughts aligned fearlessly to purpose becomes creative force. Once we know and accept this, we are ready to become something higher and stronger than a mere bundle of waving thoughts and fluctuating sensation. Once we apply this in our lives, we become the conscious and intelligent wielder of our mental power. Next, we'll be talking about the thought factor in achievement. All that we achieve and that we fail to achieve is the direct result of our thoughts. Our condition is also our own and not others. Our sufferings and our happiness are involved from within. Those who have conquered weakness and have put away of foolish thoughts belong neither to oppressors nor oppressed. The dreamers, they are free, are the saviors of the world. We can only rise, conquer and achieve by lifting up our beautiful vision. We are not fit to act independently and
An
stand
idea
alone,
in their heart
but are
will
limited
one
only
day
by the
realize
thoughts
it.
which we choose.
To desire is to
The
obtain.
universe
To aspire is
does
to
not
achieve.
favor the greedy,
Such is not the law.
the honest,
Such
the
condition
dishonest,
of
the
things can
devious,
never
although
obtain.
on the near
Ask and
surface
receive.
it sometimes
The
appears to
greatest
do so.
achievement was at
It
first
helps the
and for a
honest
time a dream.
and the virtuous.
Dreams are
Spiritual
deceivement of
achievements
realities. You cannot travel
are
within
our holy
and
our
stand
holy
still without.
aspirations.
Yeah, you can't travel within and stand
Victories
still
attained
without.
by right thoughts
Very
can only
soon,
be maintained
so
by
altar
watchfulness.
has so altar has his mind
Many give way when
become
success
that
is
his workshop
assured
no longer hold
and
him.
rapidly falls
He
back
has
into
realized the
failure.
vision of his youth.
Next
He
narrative.
has become one with his
Calmness
idea.
of the mind is one of the
You will
beautiful
become
jewels
as
of
small as your
wisdom.
controlling
It
desire,
is the result
as
of
great
long
as your
and patient
dominant
effort and
aspiration.
self-control.
They do not understand the process,
And calm people
but
are always
only
loved
perceive the
and
result.
reserved and call it chance.
They are like a shared giving tree in a thirsty land or a sheltering rock in a storm. It is the flower of life, the fruit of the soul. It is precious as wisdom. It is more to be desired than gold, more than fine gold. Only those whose thoughts are controlled and purified make the winds and the storm of the soul obey them. Keep your hand firmly upon the hem of thoughts. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace be still. Next, we'll talk about from poverty to power. This is the path of prosperity, the lesson of evil. Unrest and pain and sorrows are the sheets of life, with the object of escaping or in some ways negating this overshadowing gloom. Men and women rush blindly into meaningless devices pathway by which they fondly hope to enter into happiness that will not pass away. So over the head of every personal joy hangs the Damocles sword of pain, ready at any moment to fall and crush the soul of those who are unprotected by knowledge. No, there is a way, and I speak with gladness, by which evil can be overcome. The beginning of the way that leads to this glorious realization is the acquisition of right understanding of the nature of evil. It is not sufficient to deny or ignore evil. It must be understood. All evil is corrective and is therefore not permanent. By its one foolish act, it learned perfectly the lesson of obedience and entered into the knowledge that fire burns. As evil is direct overcome of ignorance, so when the lesson of evil are full learned, ignorance passes away and wisdom take its place. Next, the world a reflex of mental states. What you are, so is your world. Everything in the universe is resolved into your own inner experience, into your own inward experience. By our own thoughts, we make our own life, your world, and your universe. Every soul attracts its own, and nothing can possibly come to it that does not belong to it. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. Whether one is fearful or fearless, foolish or wise, troubled Within the soul lies the cause of its own state or states and never without. Well, it's gone, and troubles and worry won't bring it back, but hard work will. I know the water will be full of tadpoles, but they'll be easy to catch. And so we clothe both events and objects with our thoughts. So likewise do we clothe the soul of others in the garment of our thoughts. The old adage, birds of the same feathers flock together. Do you wish for kindness? Be kind. Do you ask for truth? Be true. Do you give yourself? What you give of yourself, you find. Your word is the reflex of you. Next, the way out of undesirable conditions. With this realization comes the knowledge that everything is included in a seamless interaction of cause and effect, and that nothing can possibly be divorced from law. The law, whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap. A true understanding of this great law that permeates the universe leads to the acquisition of the state of mind known as obedience. The cause of all powers, as all weakness, is within. The secret of all happiness, as of all misery, is likewise within. Alter your outlook upon life, and your outstand life will alter. Be sure, first of all, that you are making the best of what you have. Keep it spotless clean. Such a carpet will not fade in the sun, and constant use will never wear it out. Where there are difficulties to cope and unsatisfiable conditions to overcome, their virtues most flourishes and manifest its glory. Look upon this as necessary to your training. Practice unceasingly patience and self-control. Do not complain that you are a slave, but lift yourself up by noble conduct above the plane of slavery. Be friendly towards others and friends to smooth flock around you. Make yourself pure and lovable, and you will be loved by all. It is in this that their ways, that their wealth and power and happiness are to be found. Those who cling to their self-centeredness are their own enemy, and they are surrounded by enemies. It is the silent and conquering thought force that brings all things into manifestation. The universe grew out of thoughts. Believe and you shall live. To fear, to worry, to doubt is to deny, to disbelieve. To mentally affirm the good is inadequate. It must, by unserving endeavors, be entered into and comprehended. There are people under those touch, everything crumbles away, and who cannot retain success even when it is placed in their hands. Such people dwell continually in those conditions of mind that are very negation of power. Faith and purpose constitute the motive power of life. There is nothing that a strong faith and an unflinching purpose may not accomplish. You grow faithful and anxious and are at wit's ends. Be guided absolutely and entirely by the visions of calmness, not by the shadows of anxiety. Think good thoughts, and they will quickly become actualized in your outward life. In the form of good condition, it is a process of diverting one's scattered forces into one powerful channels, and in just the measure that you alter from within will your outlook upon your life alter. Such people realize that all the forces of the universe aid and protect their footsteps because they are the master of their souls. Next, we will be talking about the spirit of health, success, and power. We all remember with what intense delight as children we listen to never tiring fairy tales, and our little hearts never fluttered for the fate of the heroes or the heroine, nor did we doubt their untimely triumphing over their enemies. For we knew their fairies were inflammable, that they would never desert those who had consecrated themselves to the good and the true. And what unspeakable joy within them, within us, when the fairy queen, bringing all her magic to bear at the critical moments, scattered all the darkness and trouble, and they granted them the complete satisfaction of their hopes, and they are there, and they were happy ever after. There is no protection to compare with goodness,
worry,
and by goodness,
jealousy,
I do not mean a mere outward conformation to the rules of morality,
state of mind.
I mean
and
pure
expect perfect
thoughts,
physical
noble
health.
aspiration,
You are
and
expecting
selfish
the
love,
impossible,
and freedom
for you are continually
vainglory.
sowing the seed
To
of
dwell
disease in your
continually in
mind.
good thoughts is to throw
If
around
you
oneself
persist in clinging to
a
those
physical
deliberating
atmosphere
and
and sweetness
demoralizing
and
habits
power
of mind
that leaves
they
you
do not
impressed
complain when your body is laid low
upon
with
all
sickness.
who comes in contact with it.
This, then, is the secret of health: a pure heart and a well-ordered mind. This is the secret of success, an unfaltering faith, and a wisely directed purpose, and to reign in with unfaltering will the dark state of desire. This is the secret of power. Next, we'll talk about the secret of abundant happiness. Great is the thirst for happiness, and equally great is the lack of happiness. What, then, is happiness, and how is it to be secured? It is a figment, a delusion, and its suffering alone perennial. We shall find, after earnest observation and reflection, that all except those who have entered the way of wisdom believe that happiness is only to be obtained by gratification of desire. It is the belief rooted in the soul of ignorance and continual watered by selfish cravings that this is the cause of misery in the world. Happiness is that inward state of perfect satisfaction, which is joy and peace, and from which all desire is emulated. Desire is
Lose
the region
yourself
of
in the welfare
and
of others. Forget yourself in all that you do. This is the secret of abundant happiness.
Of heaven.
Ever be on the watch to guard against selfishness and learn faithfully the divine lessons of inward sacrifice. So shall you climb the highest heights of happiness and shall remain in the never clouded sunshine of the universal joy. clothed in the shining garments of immorality. Now, we'll talk on the realization of prosperity. Nature gives all without reservation and lose nothing. Those grips in all lose everything. If you would realize through prosperity, do not settle down, as many have done, into the beliefs that if you do right, everything goes wrong. Do not allow the world competition to shake your faith in supremacy of righteousness. I can contemplate all this honesty with undisturbed repose. For all I know, where certain destruction awaits it. Under all circumstances, do not do that which you believe to do right, which you believe to be right, and trust the law. Trust the divine power that is impermanent in the universe, and it will never desert you, and you will also be protected. Those who have wandered from the highway of righteousness guard themselves against competition. Those who also pursue the right do not have to trouble against such defense. This is no empty statement. Let your soul expand in those qualities is to build up let your heart reach out which cannot be shaken in loving and generous and warmth, enter into a prosperity and great which and lasting endure forever will be your joy, and prosperity will come to you. Thank you for listening.